Great, thank you. All right, so we are going to reconvene to open session and call to order at 3:45 p.m. And there were no actions taken in closed session. And a little roll call vote. President Elkishan here. Clerk Lopez Jones is absent today. Trustee Maxfield.
Here.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Here.
Trustee Rothberg Allen.
Here.
Okay, and pledge allegiance if Paula wants to share her screen. Thank you. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So funny. Every once in a while, I feel like I'm going to forget the words. And our district mission statement. We are a collaborative, culturally rich educational community where a rigorous and innovative curriculum prepares our students to be successful contributors to our global society. And I'm assuming we have no public business request. We don't have anybody on the call, so we could just skip over this, right? And then we will go to 6.1, the consent agenda. So actions proposed for the consent agenda are deemed routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless any member of the board, the audience, or staff requests specific items to be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. So does anybody have any questions on anything in the consent agenda? No? Okay, then I am looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
And that's not roll call, right, Paula?
It is.
It is roll call. Okay, it's not in the agenda. So President Elkishan, aye. Trustee Maxfield,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
Trustee Rothberg Allen.
Aye.
Perfect. There you go. And then we move on to the personnel register, and I'll put that to Erin to give us a little update.
Yeah, there was one name added to the register, Julie. It's for the school psychologist, and his name is John Green.
So we're looking at the summer program teacher and John Green. Perfect. Does anybody have any questions about the personnel register? Then I am just looking for, this is a motion, right? Nope, this is all, oh no, this is all part of the.
This is all under consent.
Oh, it's on consent, so we already did all that.
Already did that. Sorry, guys, sorry.
That's okay. I clarified John Green was added.
Perfect. And then that moves us to 7.1, which is action item protocol. So protocol for action items includes staff presentation, questions from the board, public input, deliberation by the board, and voting by the board. During public input, there's a 3-minute person. So we will look at 7.2, expanded learning opportunities plan, ELO.
So the expanded learning opportunities plan explains how the district will use the funds that it receives through the ELO grant. And the purpose is to implement a learning recovery program for at least the students included in one or more of the following groups. That includes our low-income students, our English learners, our foster youth, our homeless students, students with disabilities, or students who are at risk of abuse, neglect, or exploitation, disengaged students, and students who are below grade level, including but not limited to those who did not enroll in kindergarten this school year. Credit deficient students, high school students at risk of not graduating, and other students identified by the certificated staff. So in the board packet, we have included the early learning or extended learning opportunities plan. First, before I start, are there any questions about the plan? Would you like me to review the plan for you? Okay. Paula, would you mind putting up the PowerPoint for me? Thank you. So all districts had to have their board approved plan done by June 1st in order to receive these extra funds. And as you know, right now we have 3 different plans that are providing support in our district. The first is our LCAP. As you also know, it's a 3-year plan. We are just ending our 3-year LCAP. I will be submitting a new plan to you at the next regular board meeting. This year, we have also had a learning continuity and attendance plan, which you approved previously. So that's just an interim. Oops. That's an interim plan between the local control accountability plan and the ELO plan. And then again, we're going to have an LCAP plan coming up. So lots of new plans in order to expend all these new monies that we're receiving from the state and federal governments. So as a reminder, this Extending Learning Plan is a one-time grant, but it covers 2 years. As Maureen explained to you at one of the previous meetings, as a result of AB 86, it was approved on March 5th. She also covered for you the 2 different funding sources that are new, the in-person learning grant and then this ELO grant. And again, it must be adopted by June 1st for us to receive the funds. The intent of the ELO is just, as we explained in the summary, these are all the students that we can address with learning recovery, and this is the same in all schools in California. There are 3 particular requirements that we have to meet. The first is that we have to provide supplemental instruction. Supplemental means that it's above and beyond the instruction that we're providing on a regular basis to every other student. The second thing is, for the first time, we're now being required to provide social emotional learning. And then we also have to continue providing no-cost meals and snacks to our students. And we meet all 3 of those requirements in this plan. So as Maureen, I think, explained to you also in the past, we're getting around $640,000, so it's a significant amount of money. There are some restrictions on the funds. 85% of them must be apportioned to in-person services. So that means that we can't just spend a lot of money on administration or a lot of money on materials. It has to actually provide services to kids. 10% of the funds must be expended on paraprofessionals. You'll see that that's included in our plan. Up to 15% of the funds may be used to prepare for in-person services, and we have to have expended all of these funds by August 31st, 2022. So again, it's a 2-year grant. So there are actually 7 strategy areas that are included within the application. And we are going to be using 6 of those 7 strategy areas. You are not required to use all of them. If a district chose to use only 1 strategy area, that would be acceptable. So starting up in the left-hand corner, extending instructional learning time. This is where the bulk of our funds are being expended. And that's because that is the strategy that's going to pay for our robust summer program. And Maureen and I were just presenting to our CSEA group about an hour ago, and she was explaining to them, you know, the increase in cost is it's over double from what we've expended in the past on summer school. I'm very excited about that because I believe it is going to be a robust program. It's addressing the areas of ELA and math, but we also have a social emotional learning component in there. We're going to provide art instruction, and we're also going to have a summer band camp for 2 weeks. What's different also from this year compared to last year is before we only invited students who needed intervention. We are now taking any child who is able and willing to come to summer school. So we do have some that we have requested come to summer school for intervention purposes, but we are excited that lots of kids seem to be taking advantage of it. Any questions about the extended learning? So the second box there, accelerating progress to close learning gaps through the implementation, expansion, and enhancement of learning supports. We are going to be expanding our after-school tutoring program. In the past, it was also limited just to grades K through 6, and we only ran the program for 1 or 2 sessions every year. This next year, we're going to extend the program, start at the very beginning of the school year, extend it throughout the entire school year at both school sites. We're going to use certificated staff to provide the tutoring. So it's a fairly costly program, but I think it's a very effective program. Third strategy area that we're going to be providing is integrating student supports to address other barriers to learning. We are going to be adding the position for which the job description was approved at our last meeting, and that's of our new family and community liaison position. That's going to be an 8-hour or classified position. We intend to post it in the next few days and then actually hire the position to begin at the beginning of the next school year. And I'm very excited about this position, and I'm hearing that parents are excited about it as well. I think it'll be extremely helpful to parents and students. The fourth strategy is community learning hubs that provide students access to technology, the internet. We are going to be expanding our current library clerk position at the junior senior high school. It is not full-time, and so the amount of time that students can access our library at the junior senior high school is very, very limited. So we're going to expand that out to a full-time position. So they'll be available to students. They'll be able to help with inventory, the checking out of materials, and they also will be able to leave the library open late into the school or after the school day and into the early evening. So if families need their student to come, to campus in order to have better internet service, they can do that. Or if they need access to a device, we'll have devices available for them as well. And I think this will be very helpful in the future to our students. Fifth strategy is supports for credit deficient students to complete graduation or grade promotion requirements. We are also excited about, for the first time, we're going to expand the credit recovery options that we give to kids. We have traditionally offered that every summer. Of course, we use Apex. We may or may not use the same program moving forward, but we're going to allow kids during the winter session, the winter intersession, to come in, and they will be able to either be on campus or remotely participate in these online credit recovery options. So you're trying to address, a kid's deficits early on rather than letting them get through the whole school year and get behind, and then the summer expect them to catch up. So hopefully we'll have less of them fall behind earlier in the year, and we'll address it quickly. Then the sixth strategy is additional academic services for students. We are going to be adding a full-time paraprofessional position. That's a 6-hour position at the elementary school. So currently, kindergarten has 2 6-hour paraprofessionals that support them. And then every other grade, except for 4th grade, has a 6-hour paraprofessional. So we want to even that out between the grades and provide equal support to all of the grade, or to all the students at elementary school. And so we'll add that one full-time position. We also are going to increase the one aide who's at the 6th grade level. She is only a 5-hour position, and she's the only 5-hour on the site. So we're going to increase that position to 6 hours. So there'll be equity throughout the grade levels and throughout the paraprofessionals themselves. Then we're going to be expanding a current position that's at the junior senior high school that is also only part-time. And they have been requesting that that become a full-time position for a couple of years. We just have not had the funds available to do it. So it's exciting that this new ELO monies are intended to actually provide paraprofessional support in the schools, and that's a requirement. So it came around at the perfect time, and I think that will be well utilized. So this particular position will actually go into the classrooms to help support kids who need it. Questions about any of those 6 areas? I think every strategy is going to support students, and all of these ideas were, not mine. They were not Maureen's, and they came from the surveys that we gave to our parents and our staff. They came from DLAC, site council. So this was truly a result of stakeholder input. And we expect that, we'll have the funds for the next 2 years. We know that. So everything we're recommending to you tonight, the intent is to carry it through the next 2 years. And then Maureen shared today with the CSEA group that there's also, some word going around that perhaps the state is looking at funding this particular program for a 3rd year. So that would be wonderful. We can continue these for 3 full years from next year. So I'm excited about the monies, and hopefully you'll approve the plan. Questions for me or Maureen?
I don't have a question, but I know that all of this was a lot of additional work for your office and staff. So I just kind of wanted to commend you all for working so hard on it and making it happen.
Thank you, Julie. Maureen has done a ton. I see Maureen here a lot. Riding her bike to work,
Awesome.
on the weekends and at night.
With all this work that we've put into this and hiring these people and doing these extra things, so after 2, maybe 3 years, would we still be able maybe to continue it? If it's really
That's the
working
intent,
out?
Jeff. Yeah, that's a very good question. You don't know. And we're good to go if we can get for the whole 3 years. We've got the grant money and we're writing the plan, right?
Right.
It's what happens after that 3 years and the funding stops.
It just seems like it's a needed, all these avenues are needed, so.
Well, and hopefully the state and federal government are going to realize that it is needed and they'll continue to fund schools at these levels.
Okay.
Some other great things that are happening at the federal level, I'll just chime in for a second, is that Biden is actually committing to increasing Title I allocations, increasing special education allocations at the federal level. So if that happens in the next couple of years, that'll be great because we could stop contributing so much to those funds and actually have funds free up for these types of positions. So hopefully something to look forward to in the next few years.
Just excited about, our governor's commitment to education right now and understanding, the impact that the pandemic has had on learning and doing something to mitigate that.
Yeah, maybe it was the shift we needed to make everybody realize how important education is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. Great. Okay. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I am looking for a motion to approve the ELO plan as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Jeff.
Second.
Thanks, Rudy. All in favor?
Aye.
Don't forget to unmute. I have to have you all on.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So I think that's all we have tonight. Let me just make sure I'm right. Flip back over to this. Yeah. Looking for the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Great.
Second.
Oh, let's take Rudy on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thank you, everybody.
Go team
I want
ball.
to thank all of you for taking time out of the middle of your day to attend a special board meeting. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Good weekend.
Bye. Bye.